Hi, you're watching Researchin with Alexander. I'm here at the Mayor's Advisory Council for Bicycle and Pedestrian Safety at City Hall in Chicago, Illinois.
They're there for a minimum of a year.
There have been choices of stacked construction that is both building as well as streets that has not provided throughways that are safe. And it's not safe for pedestrians, but it's not safe for bikes. And it's not safe for cars either. One opportunity here is you give cars detours that are specifically for cars to try and reroute them through. I think there's an opportunity for us to, when we know we've got a mass like this that is going to happen because West Loop is booming. One is, I mean, you talked about telling people they have to wait. I ride through it every day. You're not waiting. Nobody's waiting. It's every street, it's every block. I turned left and I was hit with another, I couldn't go left. I was going left because I wanted away from all the traffic on Washington. I was like, there's too much construction going on. And on top of that, and there are two parts here. So first, there's an opportunity that maybe we think about giving bike detours in addition to car detours. Don't let cars go there. Give bikes a detour. Give us a route. We can even bike on a road that is kind of having work done. If half of it is blocked off, the work is done on this half and we're given a safe path on the other half. And that way we're taken away from bad traffic. And as long as there's enough of a guard, concrete barriers down that line to give us our safe space, we'd take it. I would take a route 1 block north, a route 2 blocks south to get away, right? To get away from it. I want that. But I also need to make sure that that's going to connect to another route that's going to make me go east and west. You know, like, I mean, if we think about bike detours as we think through these things, you can help us. So that's the first piece. The second piece is, just as an information for all of us in terms of what do we call in, when do we call it in, so on and so forth, can you help me understand that if a construction zone has blocked off the parking lane, but the bike lane is still there, I'm still using Washington, but the entry into the construction zone is on Washington, on the street, so they open up the gate and the truck backs into the construction zone where that parking lane is, it's blocked, right? The front of the truck is in the bike lane. So can you help me understand, one, do I call that in? Because is that part of the permit that they're allowed to obstruct the bike lane while they're actively loading or unloading something? And two, if they are allowed to do that, why are we not forcing them to put up cones and make them have a human out there putting their life at risk if our life is going to be at risk, right? For every one of our lives that have to be risked, make them risk their employees' lives and maybe they'll be better actors, right? So it seems to me normally, like even FedEx, we kind of ask them, hey, if you're going to be at a stop for long, or if somebody's going to be blocking the roadway, you've got to get flares, or you've got to get the bright triangles or cones or something to help people know. I mean, there was nothing. I'm riding along, I've got cars going 40 miles an hour because certainly they're not driving the speed limit in the area.
There is, yeah. So, you have
Yeah.
So, let me get to the first part. Yes, that is part of the ongoing improvements that we're working on with Sean's group of making sure that as we are improving the way we review and the way we permit traffic plans for any kind of construction, taking a closer look at the bike routes and how they're established. And yeah, you know, if needed, signage for a bike detour, absolutely. That's something we can look at. That's something we can work with Sean's group on to make sure that that's being implemented, not just detours for trucks or for cars, but also for cyclists and for pedestrians. Whatever is needed to make that area safe. That is actually something we've talked about before and that we are actively working on. So I'm glad you brought it up. That's actually, yeah, that is something that we've noticed and that we're working on. Absolutely.
I mean, I think the add-on to that is when Angela died, the next day or that same day another cyclist was hit in the exact same area. The next day another cyclist was hit, like had an incident in the exact same area. I would think that a health situation to that degree immediately halt. You cannot do construction. You must stop. We must have the chance to evaluate, and we get an immediate address of like that specific situation. Like, I hear you, there's stuff everywhere, but when something to this degree comes up, it wasn't one incident, it's multiple incidents.
It was 28.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying. And we did contact the developer there immediately. We talked to them about what they had. We had inspectors out there prior to that incident, and going forward, stopping the work was. I don't want to get too far into this because there's multiple locations that are an issue. This is just one location. When you have the concrete barriers there, that's not something you can just remove in a day. They are gone now. Those canopies are no longer there. But yes, we do work with them, we do talk to them, and we do immediately, if it needs to be a full stoppage of work, that's not something we're afraid to do, not at all. I'd like to get to the second, your second question. And the answer is, if you see something like that, yeah, I do want to know about that. I do want you to tell me about that. And to what the commissioner was asking, yes, there is the policy that you have to flag people through when you're doing something like that. So your initial,
so I'll share them with you.
yeah. So your initial logistics plan. You come to see me. You know, we take a look at that and we're gonna say, okay, when you're taking a sidewalk, you have to provide protected area for pedestrians in the curb lane. But we also understand you have an entry gate here, trucks coming in and out. So what's required of the contractors and the developers is when you have trucks coming in and out, you have to have flaggers there available to help with pedestrians and cyclists. So because you are temporarily, but you are still blocking additional public way. So you have to be able to accommodate, even if it's just for 5 minutes. You have to be able to accommodate that. So yes, if you do see something like that, I do, to answer your question, I do want you to let us know about that.
So I think the clarification though is that this truck was not going in or out. It was just there. It was there. And stuff was being whatevered inside the gate, but it was parked. So the argument on their behalf is, well, we're fine because we're not moving in and out. We only need to guard them.
That may have been their argument. That wouldn't be what I would have told you. What I would have told you is that I would call them and let them know if you are obstructing additional space that is not included on your permit, is not part of your traffic plan, you do have to have flaggers present to accommodate that, whether it's 5 minutes, 50 minutes, half the day, whatever it is. I need to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, to make sure you're not in violation of anything. But regardless of the reason, you have to have flaggers present, be it for pedestrians, bicyclists, cars, whatever it is. You have to make that adjustment while you are operating outside of your previously approved plan.
So how do we prove that though?
That they didn't have flaggers.
Yeah,
I took a photo.
Do we just take a picture of them and send them to you?
You can absolutely do that.
On the web.
I would also make an analogy, something like the black and white lane, the general reporting that we have from 301, and bike uprising is a big complement to that, but it's all helping us with predictive, like, allocation of resources. So there's never going to be someone that can come out in like that immediate minute. I mean, maybe there will be someone close by. I don't want to say never, but the reality is the patterns are very helpful. So we know where our hotspots are based on our interactions. Crowdsourcing sort of that information about where there are problems help us to continue to deploy resources most effectively. And if we're seeing those, repeated violations, then we'll have that inspector just on them and continue to cite them.
Well, and then I would hope that you can also start understanding, similar to the recycling group, right, is that this is a bad actor in every location where they're at. Their contracts with the city should be under question at that point. I mean, if you see that they're repeatedly doing this, then
yeah, and we do that. If somebody is not compliant and it's repeated action, we can call them into our office and say, hey, you need to come, you need to talk to us because this isn't a single offense.
We can hold permits. There's a question.
My question is why this is our responsibility to report, and why me on my way to work having construction against me and drivers against me. It's my job to stop in the middle of traffic and take pictures and send emails and make phone calls. Why is that my job?
I should clarify, I'm not trying to make it a responsibility.
But it
I
is
was,
my
when I gave the email address, I was trying to address
It's
an
not just
earlier
to you,
point.
it's to the whole
Yeah,
thing.
but I can only speak for myself and the folks that on my team. I was trying to address the question before of how do you report these things, what's a good contact point. So I'm telling you that is another outlet for you to report
And I appreciate that,
this.
because having a more direct email helps quite a bit, but I'm talking about the bigger thing, because a lot of what I'm hearing here from a couple of parties is, I need you to tell me that this is the problem, I need you to tell me this is the problem, I'll send out an inspector. Why aren't there already inspectors there? Why aren't the cops driving around noticing these things, knowing how permits work, knowing how the city works? Why is it my job to stop on my commute and tell the city to fix a problem that they should already know is happening? I don't understand why that's my responsibility.
I'm not trying to make it.
And I know it's not you directly, it's the whole council. It's the whole thing.
Like I said, I'm just
Like,
trying
why
to
isn't there
give you
something
an
more
outlet.
proactive
The inspectors are already out there.
Because I see these, you
but
tell me
yeah,
that
we-
they're not allowed to do these things, and I see them doing these things on a daily basis, on a block-to-block basis. And I don't understand why it's my job to take off work to come here and sit on the council to help make this happen. And why I have to send emails and make phone calls, and there's nobody out there whose job it is to make sure our roads are safe.
So we aren't doing it.
They're not doing it, and if it is their job, they're not doing it.
I agree with you, but we have to, participate in.
I'm trying my hardest.
And you are.
Yeah,
Thank you very
and
much
it's
for
still,
that.
it's
And we
still
need
not.
that. I mean, we have to do that. And it's just that we
It's
have to.
still not working. And like she said, like 10 years is not enough. We're talking about like basic stuff here. And I'm being told to make phone calls and do emails. And the city can't hold the city contract drivers accountable for their driving? I just don't understand. I need somebody to explain to me how this makes sense.
It's more that we need so many eyes, because there are people who are constantly going to go, well, there's not an eye on me right now, and they're going to slack off. And that's the time that you're going by and your life almost gets taken, like this morning when
So
I was
where are
riding
the
here.
inspectors to be those eyes?
Because
Or
they-
where are the cops that take less than an hour to show up when I try to call on a crash, when my life's in danger? Why isn't there more resources for that?
I mean, ultimately, we have to be the accountability for.
Are they really
the
dealing with
city
that?
because,
I'm sorry,
They
I
have
didn't
to
know
be
what you said.
accountable to us. They have to be accountable to you.
Been holding.
I would like to set up some sort of corporate communication so that I can funnel information to you specifically about construction sites.
My question is, when will there be a bike lane on Division on the west side of Chicago?